All right, Jund Escape. This could also probably be called Jund Kroxa. So this is the escape card that we're playing here. We've got a number of cards that flip things into our bin. Mire Triton, Glowspore, Binding, Cavalier of Thorns. And then in addition to Kroxa, we also have Rotting Regisaur here as a really powerful beater. A number of the cards in this deck are like pretty reasonable power level, all things considered. The couple that I would probably classify as stinkers are like Glowspore Shaman and Elvish Reclaimer here. These are both cards that I've kind of been underwhelmed by in the past and things that we've played. One thing that might be a small consideration in this deck is I'm uncertain that playing 0 copies of Embercleave is correct. That could be something worth fitting in here, quite possibly. There's also maybe a concern that between all of these cards that flip things that have been decking might be a concern in some of our longer games. So let's go ahead and hop on into a constructed event here and see how it plays out a little bit and give some feedback while we play a little. Seems fine. I miss the days of putting Cleave on Wrinkle. Oh, my sweet summer child. I'm going to miss Shocklands in Standard too, but I'm also looking forward to them rotating just so mana bases in Standard and Historic feel unique. Sweet, Bunchworthy. Yeah, I saw the post that they gave everybody some potions to make up for it too, so that's nice. Maybe I won't have to wait till Saturday to finish my my Relic Fusion. I mean, yeah, correct, Anarchist, right? Like, there's a lot of money pumped into the war machine. Even a lot of corporate Democrats voted for that bill that expanded the budget for that. No worries, BRWN Wolf. Even if you were joking about that, it's good. I know, even when chat sometimes sarcastically brings up things like that, I think it's good to be able to talk about and dissect them, just because there are people, like, while you were joking, there are people in the world who genuinely think that's the conclusion. Like, in their mind, that's the extension of like, oh, you don't want to fund a border wall? You just want open border? Derpa, derpa, derpa. It's like, well, that's not really what we're talking about. No idea, Stacko. There's a lot of different range of different lands in the game. Hopefully they introduce another new set of lands so that way we can have more different dual lands in Historic and Standard, or in Historic and Pioneer. Probably something flashy. Attempting to resolve 5 mana spells, probably going to be a bit of a challenge here. Well, shoot. If we hit a land next turn, maybe we could be okay, but we're gonna die very, very quickly. Yeah, the Scars fast lands could desperately need reprint, so like, I could definitely see those happening. We're just dead when they counter this, right? Alright, we got Agonizing Remorses and Ceratops on the board. Let's take our curve and just drag it way down. Probably play a couple Bonecrusher Giants. Let's give this a try. Hey, we hit 6.5 million channel views at some point. Probably yesterday or today. I don't know how many views we accrued today. It was probably yesterday. Get that. Yay! Yay! Meaningless metrics! Speaking of meaningless metrics, I had some turd on YouTube the other day try and explain to me that YouTube subscribers were worth money to me. It's funny. It's always wild to me how people that don't know anything about the industry always think that they can like dictate things that just like patently aren't true to people that do know things about the industry. For reference, YouTube views, assuming they don't get ad blocked, are worth like fractions of a penny per view. Actually clicking the subscribe button to people's channels doesn't really do much because YouTube doesn't even necessarily promote content to people from people they subscribe to. So like having subscribers doesn't always translate into views. Nice, anarchist. Yep, selling out of modern, bought a computer. Sounds about right. Doesn't your bank take payment YouTubers? They don't. It's really weird. Yeah, it's basically the exposure argument, right? To be fair, if you ring the bell, it does notify you through the bell ring, right? So like that's kind of real. But like a lot of people don't ring the bell. And I would assume, especially on my channel, like, if I upload a heavy volume of stuff, so I assume even people that watch my stuff on the regular there's a lot that don't want notifications for actual everything I upload. I think it's probably not an unreal expectation. I don't have any double black cards in my deck right now. I think I'm just gonna play the Painless Red land out. We'll do this and this. Big dumb dinos. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Let's look at his stumpy little arms. He's coming for you, chat. He's a hungry boy. Maybe, Theo, I have to discard an extra card that way. I get to attack with the Rotting Regisaur one turn sooner, but I have to discard an extra card for that privilege. And like, yeah, I don't know. If they have like another Brazen Borrower, I end up pretty sad with that sequencing. Whereas like Ceratops is better against another Borrower. I don't believe my channel has a join button. But in all honesty, I'd rather they just if someone wanted to join my YouTube channel. Like, all my videos have my Twitch sub link in the description, so I'd rather not split revenue sources. Although I guess YouTube pays me some amount of ad money anyways. I don't know. I'd rather have people boost the Twitch number than start a second subscription service on another platform. Don't want to put a land on top of my deck. I don't actually know if my channel has access to that feature if I wanted it. Correct. Yeah, I forgot about that part of the quote buncher. They said, you and I both know that's not true. It's like, well, if it wasn't true, I wouldn't have said it. I'm not Donald Trump. I try to be honest in what I say. Sometimes I say things and they end up being wrong, but I don't aim to intentionally mislead. Someone at the Bernie rally just said Bloomberg and Trump are two cheeks on the same ass. That's a good comparison. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm mythic all the time because I play a lot too. The ladder, contrary to what I've seen spewed around online, a lot of ladder success is largely tied to the volume you play, as opposed so much to as compared to, like, you know, strictly play skill. Volume's important. That's fair, actually. Trump is definitely mentally ill in many ways, and there is a very real chance that he believes what he types. As like, I had, the Raid Shadow Legend sponsored stream we did really had a number of people that doubled down and assured me that I personally didn't really like Raid. I was just doing the stream for the money. And while I'm sure there's content creators out there that take every mobile game sponsor they can get, I frequently turn them down. Anyone who's in the subs Discord knows how much Raid I've played off stream. If you've got that channel unmuted. I mean, like, to be fair, some of these mobile games pay, like, a tiny pile of money. Like... Most of the contracts have NDAs though, so you're like, yeah. How many stat pages to read? Only 3. Only 3 at the moment. You're probably addicted to dopamine. I think we just do this turn. Like, I could activate this, but it doesn't really do anything. Ugh, double Night Pick Ambusher is such a beating. Man, their hand is good. Yeah, I guess Mystic is like the thing that's not like the others, but like, I can't actually beat any of these other cards, right? Like, and Regisaur here, Regisaur without a cleave here just doesn't do anything, right? Well, he wasn't on the ballot in Nevada, Admiral. So what you need to understand about Bloomberg in the current primary is that Bloomberg won't be on the ballot until Super Tuesday. So you gotta understand, Bloomberg only got into the race because he's terrified that Bernie might actually win the nomination. He originally wasn't going to run, and then decided too late because it looked like Bernie had a real chance. It looks like Bernie has a real chance of getting the nomination. And Bernie getting the nomination is not good for billionaires. I don't know. I'd encourage you to take anything you see on social media from any candidate, whether it's Trump or Bloomberg or Bernie or Biden. Like, there's a lot of bot accounts out there. There's a lot of accounts being run by foreign nationals who want to just disrupt American elections out there. So, especially things that are hostile, I'd encourage you to take them with a grain of salt. It openly paid for by various campaigns, yep. I wonder what Bloomberg's ratio of paid shills versus, like, actual supporters are. It's got to be pretty low, right? Alright, so I'm just smashing Nissa here, right? And we'll see what they do. If they chump block Ceratops with... Are they going to trade Nightpack here? Protect their Nissa? Well, this ends up being really good for us here. I get to stomp Nissa now. I mean, the ladder system definitely is not super pleasant. And as always, I'd encourage you to only play Magic Arena and only play the ladder if you're enjoying the games you play. The ladder system on Arena is certainly not worth pursuing if you're only pursuing it for the carrot on the stick. The carrot on the stick is not particularly great. Oh, they lost their second green in that attack. Wow, that's huge. I missed that. Yeah, wow, that's a big deal. Because now they can't play this, so I can attack with these. That might cost them this game. I feel like we were super far behind, but the fact that we killed the Nissa and their second green is a big deal for us here. They have like a quench here. Yeah, okay. Glad we let on Regisaur. Second green source here probably means we're dead. Dream Trawler into emergency powers. That's hilarious. We've got that one in the queue. Get to it at some point. So, like, now, my Ceratops dies to their token, which is not great. I suppose if they do that, though, the Rotting Regisaur hits them. So maybe the second Regisaur is good enough. We can also see them double block Regisaur here and trade a Night Pack for that. I feel like they'll probably go to 3 though. Hey, Huckleberry, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. I forgot to give this trample because I'm stupid and we're talking. Not giving that trample is a big deal because it means if I draw Bonecrusher, it's not lethal. So if we draw Bonecrusher, they get 2 free 4/4s here. Huh? Quench just doesn't matter, right? Alright, so we attack with both of these. If they want to eat one of them, they have to chump block with their other Night Pack Ambusher, so basically I can trade a Regisaur. I guess I could double block both. I think Chump's the most likely outcome. No, Agonizing Remorse always shows the hand first. Now they fixed that in the last patch, thankfully. So you can trust it. They can endlessly double jump, you're not wrong. Hopefully we can find a Kroxa. Yeah, I should probably activate this to thin. It's pretty marginal, but we're gonna do it a few times. Oh, you know, I should crack my fetch in response to this trigger, just in case this mills both of our basics. You got me. What would win? 2 skeleton dino boys or an endless pack of wolves? Signs seem to be pointing in the direction of the endless pack of wolves currently. Best Girl Scout cookie, the chocolate peanut butter ones. And if you disagree on that point, it's okay to be wrong. I still love you. The what's it called? The coconut ones are a good second best. Like the coconut circle ones. I don't know what they're called. People are saying like the specific proprietary names of the Girl Scout cookies. I don't know. Keep your proprietary Girl Scout cookie names to yourself, okay? I ain't got time for that. That's a good point. I want to get a third red so that way I could draw and escape Kroxa in the same turn. It's a good thought. Although, do I even want to do that if I know they have Quench in their hand? Hey, thanks for the support, Kinix. We're not looking for another Elvish Reclaimer is what we're not looking for. Oh, I totally am dead to Nissa, aren't I? That's funny. Shh. Be very quiet. It is a really good draw. Means we're not dead to the Nissa. And we can eat a Nightpack Ambusher if they attack, so... Yeah, this is probably one of the better draws in our deck. Because, like, it also locks up either of the Nightpack Ambushers from picking at us, which is great. We're still going to be dead to any removal spell here, but that's fine. If we're really lucky, this is going to mill a Kroxa. Alright, use that Quench, bad boy. Got plenty more cards where this came from. Quench my thirst. I'm a thirsty boy. Satisfying. Brick. 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 Let this be a justice streaming brick. Please, brick. Please. Please. Brick and die. Brick and die. Tank Goblin Grenade. So, I had my graphics guy do up brick emotes at one point, and they ended up looking real awkward, so we ended up not having them on the channel. So, you're dead? Let's start with this, because what happens with the card in their hand could impact our decision here. I assume they have a spell, because if they have a non-spell, they die to the trigger, right? Oh no! Oh no! Why was I exiling lands, chat? Why did nobody say, Jeff, stop exiling the lands? What are you doing, Hogland? No, Hogland! Why you do that, streamer? Why, streamer? Why you mess up? Poke the streamer. Why'd you mess up, streamer? We were just so excited to have found a Kroxa off our Triton. I felt like because we were lucky and found the Kroxa, I had to balance things out by making this creature worse. I felt like it was only fair. Bye, friend. Wow, they missed lethal and then lost the game. This isn't the Magic the Gathering I know and love. People aren't supposed to lose games after. Oh wait. Need my dopamine, chat. Daily Deal says. Oh no. We already whaled all of the deals, chat. Oh. Too big of a whale. Already have all the deals. And I paid full price for them all like a sucker. You cannot edit your deck during an event. I just stole an opponent's Ethereal Absolution with Aegis Treachery and now they're roping me. God bless. Yeah, I'm gonna play Adventure Knights on the ladder. I think that deck's very reasonable. Oh, just a second match in a row where my big dumb dinos are going to get blocked for eternity by cats. Thrill of Possibility. It's an interesting one. Fetching this Boris was probably a mistake with the it was almost certainly a mistake. Massacre Girl is menacing. She does have that upside. I always forget to fetch in response to Mayhem Devil chat. Someday I'll remember. See if they have a cat here as well. Well, that was not the red source I wanted for Christmas. I think I'm just playing Massacre Girl here. I need to try and run them down as fast as possible before they find their way into a cat. This jump block seems good for me. Maybe a bit of a mishap there on their part. They forgot to make a food slash... Oh, they died a cleave. Well, I didn't have a 5th land in play. I mean, they blocked anyway, so it didn't really matter. But, yeah. Hey, Terabyte Chris. Red source. Swish, chat, swish. So, oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hands, we'll make it, I swear. Do 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 do. Crunch you down to 8. Shock this into 14. Play my Elemental Knight. Got 2 lands in there if they kill this later. This can pump up my squad, including my Massacre Girl, who's very menacing. They are at a virtual 11 with this food here. We were trying giving the Ping Demon Death Touch. We've not on stream. However, there was a Jund build that played Status Statue at one point alongside Mayhem Devil. Feel like we got pretty fortunate there. Kind of feel like we pulled one over. I think I want my evasive threats. I think, so I know Rotting Regisaur just won us that game, but I don't think that means we're supposed to keep it in our deck here. I think we're supposed to cut Reggie because it just gets jump blocked. This is a constructed event. Pretty much only play ladder or constructed event on this channel. Try to always play something with at least a little bit of something on the line, even if Arena doesn't have a ton of things where you can do that. So if you don't see a rank icon in my lower left hand corner, you can usually assume it's a constructed event. That's fine. Not amazing, but fine. Hey, Thayan, that's awesome to hear. Glad to hear you're feeling the burn. My state vote's very late. Illinois is not till March 17th. So I think I'm supposed to binding here because binding, I want to get to a point where this can pop off and draw something back out of the bin. That's super awkward. Oh, that's really weird. They're bringing this back without drawing a card? The life gain lands are probably just budget replacement. These are commons, and Scrylands are rares. Enters the battlefield, put 2 cards from your graveyard. You may return a permanent to your hand. They got back Murderous Rider. Okay, so I have enough red for Cavalier of Flames, right? So I guess we'll just grab that. Well, this card is super good against us. I guess I'm playing this. And then I'm doing this, but like, this sacrificing causes us to take a damage from Mayhem Devil too. They have Kroxa of their own. They're thankfully missing a second red at the moment. I also don't have many cards in the bin, since we exiled 2 of them. They don't have good attacks here at least. And if they I guess they can Murderous Rider my thing. The art on this card's super sweet. It's mostly a limited card, so I haven't seen it before. Would I rather Cavalier of Flames or Cavalier of Thorns? Hey, MB, thanks for the 16 months. What deck would I play if I were playing a tournament this weekend? I don't really have anything prepared. I like the Adventure Night deck that we have coming up next, but I haven't been hammering anything to really have strong opinions on decks. I think that's a good point. Cavalier of Thorns lets me play Flames plus Pump It next turn. It's a good thought. It also lets me hold up the Thrashing Brontodon activation potentially, which is nice. I'm gonna take this rather than the Fabled Passage because the Fabled Passage hurts me with Mayhem Devil. Really surprised they haven't just Murderous Ridered my board. Yeah, I feel like they're like doing a bunch of setup. Okay, that's gas. I'll put this into play tapped. Huh, is it crazy to start attacking? I guess if I attack with this without the pump up, they just triple block and I trade 1 for 1, which is not good for me. I don't really have anything to get back just yet. I will have you know that even without a daughter that sells Girl Scout cookies, I eat 2 boxes of cookies a season. Thank you very much. To the person on Twitter that just asked me a question, you kind of implied that you're watching the stream. The answer to that question is yes. That's what I'm implying. I'm only here for the Girl Scout cookie takes. Can you stop talking about magic? I wonder if we'll have people complain about us discussing Girl Scout cookies. They always complain when we go off topic, right? It's definitely not that they only complain about politics. God, Cavalier Knights gums this board way up. And again, just like, this is a board state where I kind of feel like... American Gamer, thanks for the 20 months of Prime support. That's a long time. I kind of feel like without an Ember Cleave, how do I break a board state like this, right? Massacre Girl kind of breaks it. Like, she slaughters the board, I guess. Polly K is a hungry boy. You don't know what Girl Scout cookies are, you poor soul. Whoa, that was a big chunk. There's a lot of lands in here, huh? They're cookies that are made from real Girl Scouts. That's... was this a good draw? Okay, so now I'm gonna sack this before it dies. Alright, so this is like an easy red Cavalier back on top of the deck, right? Correct, Mask. It's complete redirection and nonsense. It's done in completely bad faith. The fact that Bernie pointed out in 2016 that he could win using superdelegates was not him endorsing the idea that the superdelegates should ignore the will of the actual voters, which is what some people have taken what he said talking about the possibility of it to imply. Whereas, like, this election cycle, literally everyone on the debate stage in Nevada said point blank, other than Bernie, that they did not think the person with the most votes should get the nom. They thought the convention should do what the convention wants. Yeah, like, this is a 6/5 that has haste and it pumps this to lethal, and if it dies, there's infinite lands in my bin, which is great too. Correct. Bernie is the front runner, and that worries a lot of people. A lot of people stand to lose a lot of money from Bernie being president. So... do I attack here? Menace is not game over with Pump because they gained 1. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to pass. Chat, they chump block the Cav. They chump block the Cav, and then they take 5 and go to 1. And then they attack me, and this does 9. No attacks. This does not have menace. This does not have trample. Yes, correct, Dren. In my opinion, all of the candidates that said they wanted to trust the process, and that's the process they should use, and that the person that gets the most votes shouldn't be the winner of the Democratic nomination, all of those candidates that said that while also railing against the Electoral College in the general election, they're hypocrites. If they attack with Kroxa, they die. Alright, you know, sometimes you get a free roll. Because I'm free falling. Oops. Trigger. They, like, moused over my Cavalier, too, before making that attack? Yeah, like, I mean, the first few times it didn't kill them and they just kind of had to cut through it, so, like, I get that, but, like, they definitely didn't need to attack there. Yeah, it's like got some neat parts going on. Probably an Ember Cleave short of being ideal. Probably 2 to 3 Ember Cleave, but the core of what's going on here seems pretty reasonable. As always, at the very end of the deck segment, we've got, I don't know, probably this match and maybe one more. We'll see. I don't know, we're having a pretty good set. If we win this one, we'll definitely play one more. Ashiok is scary. Hopefully they don't have many of those in their deck. Reclaimer's been kinda middling. Not been super impressed with Reclaimer. The stat line on it's been okay. If we run some lands off here, our hand's pretty good. Just gonna activate this and get a red-black land, fill the bin up a little bit. A temple or two in our mana base might also be worth considering.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
Yeah, I think Ashiok's a fine hate card. We've definitely played Ashiok as a hate card in, like, Modern and Pioneer.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Advice for a soon-to-be dad. I think one of the things I heard a lot that I definitely disagree with after having 2 kids is that the kids are really easy right after they're born for the most part. It isn't until they hit, like, you know, 6 to 9 months, whenever they start rolling over and crawling, that they really start to become difficult. The first 6 months are super easy, because, like, they just, like, lay there and you have to wipe their butt after they poop. But, like, once they're mobile, they're just like tiny suicide machines. Their goal in life is to try and touch and play with anything that could kill them. And your goal as a parent is to make sure they fail at that job. Just gotta play, keep them alive.
bad idea.
Absorb. Nope, just an omen. This is back at 3 already, and they have this in hand. This game feels pretty over. Let's get to a post-board game. Our lack of cards that interact with Dream Trawler might be a mistake too. I didn't put any 6-mana Lily on the 75, which may or may not be right. I agree that Regisaur without Cleave's been medium. Need Splinter Twin for our Deceiver Exarch. That's true. Ceratops is a pseudo answer. That's very fair. What did I take out for Cleave? Four Massacre Girls, probably too many. I feel like I'd be surprised if Glowspore Shaman's a card I want in my final 75 as well. That card's just like pretty mediocre. I feel like if I wanted more cards to mill things, Tiamat Calls the Dead would probably be a reasonable card to include in this archetype. They've been 2 Dream Trawlers there, so it makes sense that they had a Conqueror's Death.
Here goes nothing. I've got time. No more games.
Ravens crime you again. Look it, even the bot knows what I'm saying when I say Tiamat Calls the Dead. So y'all can just get over it, okay? You pronounce your made-up names however you want to pronounce them, and I'll pronounce the made-up names however I want to pronounce them. If the bot can figure it out, so can you. You're a big smart human. I promise you can figure it out. Big and human for sure. Certainly big and human. Hoping for an untapped green source next turn so we can sham Shifty Boy. Swish. Da-da-da. Okay, they topped a card here, which means I wouldn't be surprised to see Shifty Boy go away, but I do get to escape my Kroxa next turn, so that's nice. So I want to leave lands in there for Red Cav and the Reclaimer. You wouldn't be surprised to see them bin a land here. The good news is if they just shatter us next turn, we get to draw a card at least. And if we find an untapped black source, we can go Mire Triton into escape Kroxa again. Time Wipe's a little unfortunate. Don't get to draw a card for that one. Untap Black Source. Untap Black Source. They definitely should have taken one of my lands there, right? I don't know, I guess that could go either way. I guess this lets them block Kroxa, and then I don't have enough cards in my bin right now to bring it back. I feel like they should have Stone Raid me off red or black. Yeah. Right, money / brand standpoint. It's technically like marginally more clout or whatever you want to call it to watch on YouTube, but like that Prime sub you just sent my way, like that's worth way more than any amount of views or anything like the number of views a video has to get to be worth more than a Prime sub is like, I don't know, probably 4, maybe even 5 figures worth of views. So if you're subbed to the channel, really don't worry about min-maxing my revenue in other places for me. I appreciate you as is. I'm just gonna exile a thing from their bin here. They have 2 trawlers, so I'm gonna take the Agent of Treachery. Just want to reduce some of their selection in the event they find Conqueror's Death later. Bottoms up. Bottoms up. Bottoms up. Bottoms up. Bottoms up. Rats. They kept one. Omen of the sea. Omen of the sea. Do 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 do. Do I get money from Twitch bots? I don't think so. I'm actually not sure offhand if there's adverts on Twitch VODs. There probably are. Is getting number 1 on the ladder impressive? It's impressive from a measure of fortitude. I don't think getting number 1 on the ladder means you're like measurably better because of that than like most other people in Mythic though. I think if you manage to get to Mythic, especially if you manage to get to Mythic top 1200 most seasons, the difference between being top 1200 and being first is just like volume at that point. As we've often talked about, the key to advancing up the ladder tends to be streaking. Like, you need to be maintaining a certain win rate as well, but like at a certain point when your win rate meets a minimum threshold, like getting up past that is just like hitting a good streak. There's actually a red-black Pyromancer list in the deck queue, but we're gonna get to it probably next week, I think. All right, so I'm gonna, maybe I should have played the Stomping Ground on one. I didn't reassess my turn 1 play when I drew this. Kroxa is a very good Magic player. He plays Magic all day. It's tough to not be good at something you do constantly, right? Something to be said for practicing something that you do all the time. Gosh, do I even want anything out of my bin at this point? Probably just the Fabled Passage, huh? The rest of this don't seem super useful. So I feel like I'm just going to go Binding plus Glowspore here and like gas my graveyard up. It feels like, oh crap, I didn't get a second green. Well, now am I Kroxaing? All right, now I'm Kroxaing. I was gonna say, it kind of feels like they're holding up an Absorb. I don't know, it's pretty marginal either way, I think. Like, I kind of expect this to get countered, but like, if this gets countered, then this is more likely to resolve, maybe. Yeah, I agree, Singer. It feels to me like Pioneer made like all of the things they did wrong in Modern over the course of like 3 years in the span of like 3 months. Huh? Alright, I'm gonna shock this in. And then I think we're just doing these 2 this turn. It swept up our playgroup and then spat us back out. Yeah, I believe it. Wow, we hit 3 lands, so I can just attack them for 3 here. I kind of want a green, though. I think I just decline. Leaving extra cards in my bin is valuable for Kroxa as well here. It was Bug Drunk Owl, but they posted in their Discord today that they thought they fixed it. And they gave everybody some free potions to make up for Ascensions they might have done.
Protect you.
Feels like Shatter. So we draw a card, they take 3. Oh, the flavor text. I forgot this kills Planeswalkers too. I had also forgot, like, it's hard for me to, like, say much about the opponent there, because I definitely also wasn't expecting that to happen. Gotta love when the flavor text gets them. That's one of those things that, like, in paper, I'm gonna miss, like, 9 times out of 10. Like, that, if that's a game of paper Magic, there's no way I remember that's supposed to happen. There's actual factual 0% that I'm gonna be like, yes, this is a thing. Alright, well, they're empty-handed, right? And I have this, this, and this versus their castle on the top of their deck. So, not a lock from here, but definitely feels like we're ahead. Omen of the sea, omen of the sea. Do 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 do. They did double bottom there. You love to see it. Can't activate their castle, taking 7 down to 9. Scry me a river, baby. Okay, they found a keeper. Yep. What's the word, opponent? What's the word? Deal Reno. Alright, that puts us to 3-0 here. 4-0? 2? I get 3-0. 3-0. Alright, let's try one more with this one, huh? This one's been pretty reasonable since the lack of Embercleave. Play one more with this. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with some Adventure Knights to climb up the ladder a little bit, hopefully. Sure. Alright, I think I want to just get binding going ASAP. You are not anarchist. Far from it. So I want a 4th land on top of my deck. I think I do, actually. Next turn, this is gonna pop off, which will let me pick up Rotting Regisaur. And I could go Regisaur tapped land next turn. I mean, my goal in playing the events like this isn't always because I want to play a soft event. Like, playing People's Brews against decks that are established is good because part of my goals here on stream are to give people feedback on the deck they think they might want to play. And playing against meta decks makes it easier to give that feedback. I want at least 2. You don't have any Cavaliers? I think the red Cavalier's probably replaceable. The green one's pretty important, though. Ox could be okay if you have it. Embercleave's a good inclusion in this deck. I want some Embercleaves regardless. And then this is actually super perfect. I get to discard Kroxa and then escape it this turn. Coffees for closers, let's go. Today is the first day in stats class where I walked out of the room not in a panic. Well, that's always nice. Binding, and Glowspore, both looking very reasonable here. Yeah, Calls the Dead is something you could experiment with. I've definitely liked Calls the Dead in these Kroxa decks in the past. It's been a card that's always impressed me. So they're throwing this away because they want to cast Light Up the Stage for 1 mana. Abzan Sacrifice noted. I'll get that bumped up after today's stream. Oh, also, as a good reminder, too, we hit the raid install goal last week, so there is going to be a stream this Saturday as well. So in addition to today, and then I'll be live tomorrow for my normal segment. Saturday, we're going to be live all day. Planning to do at least 10 hours. We're going to do Pioneer, Historic, and Standard. Yeah, we are at 21. The problem is they're a combo deck, right? So, like, they could just, like, hit us in the face for infinite here. my rep actually told me, Empty Hex, that in addition to... Well, that's great. In addition to hitting the install goal, my referral link had a higher than average number of installs that translated to people spending money. Oglandia has some splashers in it. There's some fish, there's some whales in the ocean, chat. Yes, he does, Prime. Huh. Maybe I wasn't supposed to discard that. Syrian Flow, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah, could be Cleave. Am I dead to Cleave, though? I'm at 23, and I've got a bunch of blockers. Longtime lurker, I wanted to thank you with my Prime sub for the content creating. Greetings from Germany. Thanks for keeping me around. Those Prime subs literally pay my mortgage these days. So Grind, welcome as well. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. So Glandia's primary tourist feature whale watching. I believe they're gaining priority because of Runaway Steamkin. That's why they keep having to click through things here. Yeah, so like, let's say this is a blank and this is a cleave, or like this is a blank. They have cleave plus nothing. This will be a 7 because it gains 3, so it'll be 14, and I block everything else and don't die. So I think we're okay here. I think we're okay here. We hit the goal very quickly, Theo. We cleared 5K in like the first 2.5 hours, and we made it over 1250 by the end of the stream. We're gonna be dyeing the beard blue. I think I'm gonna do a darker blue. Need to go in and look at the options. Man, been a lot of people having disconnect issues today. Definitely don't need a land next turn. Next turn doesn't really matter. We're not going to have a next turn. Yeah, wow. Looks like they might have disconnected. That's unfortunate. I guess if they disconnect from the match, we'll play the 5th one before we move on to the next one. We did a raid stream last Friday, Kyle. You can find it up on the YouTube channel, as always. All right, they're back. If this isn't a spell, the Kroxa trigger kills them, right? Oh, they're just dead regardless? I can escape this Kroxa, right? I did not watch Colbert from last night yet. Usually I watch that in my, while I'm doing my post-stream wrap-up in the afternoon. 17, 18, 19, 20. We go to 3. 22. We go to 1. 17, 21, 22. Is that right? Or we go to 1, sorry. Yeah. All right. Splinter Twin this. Ugh. Living on a prayer. Easy game, right? Just like we drew it up. Huh? This is the only thing I want at my top end, right? This is better than the Cavaliers. Feel like that's probably safe to say. In this matchup post board, I want this and not any of my Cavaliers. What do we think of this board plan? Seems reasonable. Yeah, I mean, if we hadn't gained a little bit of life with the enchantment, we'd have died, right? Hey, thanks for the half a year, Wargy. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That's true. Mire Triton gained us a couple as well. Every point counted. How's this deck been? It's been pretty reasonable. I think we want like a pair of cleaves in the 75 for our heavy hitters, but other than that, I've liked what we have here. Like maybe like -1 Massacre Girl, -1 Green Cavalier, or maybe -1 of the 2 drops. Felt like we've had legs here. We beat down blue-white control. Now we're going toe-to-toe with mono red here. And like the mono red players draw that game was like not bad, right? Like they had a lot of the tools mono red wants to see game to game. Sure. Hand needs a green source real bad, but the black-red part of this hand's super reasonable. Yep. You know, this is a different deck, Wargy. We had 2 people cut the line today, so we didn't get to that one. Should get to it tomorrow or Saturday, depending on if the whales permit. We should get to that one tomorrow or Saturday. All right, that's a non-land. I would like a land, please. Perfect. Do I want to play this? I think the answer is yes. I mean, if they have a sword, the giant blocker doesn't accomplish much. No, I'm definitely not playing Paradise Druid here. I think that's an incredibly bad play. I can't just let them have free reign to hit me again the following turn. Hopefully they just like play a land, play a giant, play a 1-drop, and then we get to massacre the board next turn. Yeah. I could attack here first, and maybe they don't block, but they're gonna block, so it doesn't really matter. How does Massacre Girl interact with Annex? Exactly how we want it to. Her triggers stay on the stack, Annex makes things, her subsequent triggers resolve, she cleans them all out. Works exactly how you want it to work. And then next turn I get to escape this, right? Just like run them down. Massacre Girl's been really impressive. Been quite excellent. Leave lands in here for Reclaimer. Weird that they didn't play Robber the Rich last turn. I guess they couldn't attack, but like, they saw the Kroxa there, right? They knew it was coming. How's Reclaimer been? It's been okay. I don't know that it's anything to like write home about, but it's been passable. or something I'd rather have in its place. I don't know. I feel like from a resource efficiency standpoint, it's probably fine. Let's do the last one. I'm into this deck. Let's play a 5th. Every time I do this and I'm like, maybe we'll be done. No, let's play one more. We like hit blue-white control and it takes an hour, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we can hit like another mono red deck. How long have shillings been up for? Since October. The Shillionaire title, based on how long it takes you to accumulate shillings, is intended to take viewers the better part of a year of regular watching. Hey, Sunshine, thanks for the biddies. Thanks for using the Hunter's bit so I get the bonus. To have free avatars a bad sign, something. Opponent's feeling a little salty, it looks like here. Maybe I kind of need a land, right? Like I only have one green source at the moment, so like taking a Cavalier back doesn't really accomplish much at the moment. We'll see what we draw here. If we draw a 5th land, we'll probably get back the red Cavalier we milled over. Got a couple of choices here. Kroxa's not bad. I could just take Mire Triton because I can play that this turn. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Like this puts extra cards in my bin for Kroxa down the line too, which is great. So if they have like Murderous Rider the first time, we get to escape it back a second time pretty early. Looking to dodge like Ritual Assault here. Kroxa's very reasonable. You haven't seen us play the red-black Titan deck before? I think that's another very reasonable Kroxa build. Played that a couple of times on stream. Glad we waited on this. So they have to sweep the board, and they have to have a spell to discard to Kroxa. Alright, some kind of Sultai thing. Agonizing Remorse is probably good. Massacre Girl's probably not. I'm just going to swap that out for now. Opponent did not have many spells that game. Is definitely a fair assessment. I mean, to be fair, Elspeth Conquers Death doesn't exile Kroxa, right? Chad, I'm really confused. After, in the Magic category on Twitch, there's like some kind of Excel spreadsheet game for the next top 2 streamers. And then the third, the person in fourth right now, I think they're playing Uno or something, or maybe Yahtzee. They have dice on the stream. It's really novel and neat. I'm glad y'all are here with me while we play some video games, though. Is this keepable? This is probably fine, right? So many Magic formats, yeah. Sounds like they're miscategorized, right? They're playing Dungeons and Dragons. There you go. Enter the God Eternals. Alright, so with this draw, I think I want to shock in, because Forest doesn't cast Kroxa. Right? Alright, so we're going to lose Mire Triton here, almost assuredly. That's smart. I was making a joke, TX Bump Fist, about the next two channels being Paper Magic and Magic Online. Maybe actually... No, they discard. So this is fine, so I can fetch with this and then put Kroxa into play next turn. Thoughts on Creeping Chill? I think Creeping Chill is a really low quality card that in general, outside of things that are completely obnoxious like Dredge in Modern, it's just not a constructed playable card. You get Aether Gusted here. They did have a game 1 Aether Gust. I think I just put that back on top. And game in for just like Ravens Crime You, Lightning Bolt You, etc. Even enter the God Eternals here. Hydroid Crisis, it's a good one to get rid of. We'll just play this one to discard their deal 3 to them. So we're hoping for one of our cards that flips things into the bin. Green Cavalier, probably the single best draw on our deck. How about Nissa? Was Nissa the best draw on their deck while they're at exactly 5 lands?
The land shall conquer you.
Is the jury out on that one? Green Cavalier? I think I'm happy with how I boarded. I'm happy with how I boarded. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run it back. Hopefully run a little bit hotter ourselves, or have them run less hot for the last one. No Ceratops? No, I don't know that Ceratops is good enough here. I'm really not a fan of Ceratops against Nissa decks a lot of the time. Just because Nissa really gums up the board. And like 2 Nissa lands make a 3-3 trade for your 4-5 or 5-4. Which doesn't feel stellar. I mean, I don't know that it was just the hand disruption, right? Like, they peeled Nissa right off the top. Like, we were probably going to play through if they had just, like, hit not one of the most impactful spells in their deck there. I'm going to lead on Paradise Druid here, so this way if we're fortunate and draw a 3rd land next turn, we can double 2-mana spell in a perfect world. As you will, opponent. As you will. Survey says. Yeah, you're not wrong, Chnorka. They're getting scared. They're scared. They're scared. He's gonna win. I don't think I can attack with this. I don't want it to die to spot removal. Let's lead on this and see what they're doing before we use the Paradise Druid here. Ugh, that's a hand. How many cards are in their band? Just 2? So I just like take Nissa here, right? Is the plan? Smack them for 3. They'll justify running a second or third place candidate by saying they had too many people who stayed in the election for too long, and the result of that means that it's not actually what the party wants in Bernie. They'll try and say that they'll try and add up the votes of other people and combine them together. When in reality, that just doesn't work, because there's a number of Biden voters who, like, have their second choice be Pete, or be Bernie. So, like, people don't vote straight policy. There's things to be said about just name recognition, and then just, like, how people feel generically about candidates as well. I think I'm declining this, and just hoping to draw a green source to play this next turn. I guess I'll play this out. Sure. Look at that. Skillfully milled 2 non-lands there. Skillfully part there is key. According to Morning Consult, the plurality of Biden votes prefer Bernie as number 2. Yep. Which, again, it's important to remember that, like, if the DNC actually cared about democracy, they would have required all these primaries be ranked choice voting. But they definitely have preferred candidates and want to do their best to push their preferred candidates. Yes, Bernie was number 2 with moderates in Nevada. It's exactly correct, which is a really good thing to point to when people say Bernie's divisive. It's like, well, he actually, like, ranks high among most people. He's very unifying. Lots of different types of people like Bernie. Because he's consistent, and he's honest, he's straightforward. He believes what he says, and you can believe him when he says what he says. So they have Aether Gust here. They just have these 2 cards they've been right now. I guess I attack for 3, and then we play Cavalier into Aether Gust, then we tuck it back on top of our deck and play it again next turn. And it depends on, like, how good these cards are here. Like, feels like we're a little bit ahead at the moment, but, like, not so far ahead that we can get super comfortable. right, looking for Kroxa here to have a chance. No, Kroxa's rough. We'll grab our second red. Feeling kind of dead here. That's a good question, Tubos. Yeah, maybe trying to clear it. It depends on like what your hand is and whether or not you care about the Cavalier. It's very possible that because they were setting up for a 6/6 Krace, they just didn't care about the Cavalier. Alright, we're dead. OBS Open Broadcast Software, the project, the software that I use to stream to Twitch, they just posted on Twitter that Facebook was becoming a premier level sponsor of their software. People are just like losing their minds with conspiracy theories. Kind of amusing. I wonder how many of those people realize how many open source projects Facebook's contributes to. Like obviously Facebook's like does a lot of big bad things, and like how they manage political advertisements among other things is terrible, and billionaires are unethical and shouldn't exist in terms of like Mark Zuckerberg, but like they have their hands in a lot of open source projects. Yeah, correct. Yeah, like OBS is open source. You're going to be able to go in and look at and see what gets done. You're gonna know there's transparency there to know that, like, what gets impacted in what ways, if anything, because of that result. Alright, as far as this deck is concerned, I feel like not playing Cleave in this 75 was a big mistake. I feel like 2 in the main's probably a good spot. 9 5-drops is a lot. I feel like I just trim around the edges here and get 2 Cleaves at the top end. The things I'm not really sure about looking at this deck list, and even after playing those matches, is I don't know that I have a good feel on whether or not Reclaimer and Glowspore Shaman are good or not yet. I feel like a card I would definitely want to test some in here is Calls the Dead, is a card that I've been really impressed with in other builds of Kroxa that we played, and I think there's a good potential. It's reasonable here. This also makes multiple bodies with Ember Cleave, which is appealing. So I feel like I would probably try a configuration that looked like this, like we still have plenty of 2-drops cutting Glowspore. I would probably try that. We have 24 lands altogether. I feel like that's a little bit low in the overall land count. And since I cut some of the 5s, I think I'd trim a Paradise Druid 2 and get a 25th land into here. It could be right to even get up to 26 in here though as well. So probably would definitely get to 25, I think. So I think this would probably be what I would try with like another random land. Maybe a temple. There were a couple of times where we were activating this where I wouldn't have mind having a temple to search up to scry with. So that would probably be my change in the mana base. Add a temple. All right, what are we doing? So we are going to play some green-black Adventure Knights on the ladder to wrap things up today. We're currently 1180, 2 days left in the season. Hopefully we can hit a good streak and rank that up to a safe spot. I'm going to do a quick ad roll. I get arena restarting, get everything set up for that. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.